All right, here we go again. It is another very hot day out there. It is hot and uncomfortable. It is the middle of, well, not even the middle, it's the beginning of August, the beginning of hot and uncomfortable season. I don't know what else to say aside from that. And, yes, that's all I got, really. It's hot, it's yucky, and I'm hot and I'm yucky. I can't wait to go home. I hired this person in our department. I swear this guy's got the worst lot of luck. And it was cute at first, but now it's stopped being cute. So I don't know at what point in time it's like, do you do something about it? Well, I mean, I've done plenty. It's just hoping what you do is enough. You don't want it to come to the ultimate yucky decision, but like, if you have to have it come to that, it has to come to that. It's not fair to ignore it. But boy howdy, has he had all the things happen in less than a month's time. And I don't know really what else there is. Trying to do the best I can to get things taken care of. It's very hard to do that because of all the other things that are going on. And so we'll see. That's really all I can say is we'll see what the world has to offer us. And hopefully the world hands us a silver dish on a platter. And we can use that dish to serve more food. My mind is shot right now. I apologize in advance. I do not have a good concept to talk to you all about. I was supposed to hit the gym today. Today was going to be my big comeback to the gym. Instead, I didn't get off till 5:30, and I got in at like 7, and I'm just over it. I'm over it. I want to be able to do whatever the heck I want to do again. It's just unfortunate that everything has happened the way that it's happening. And just over it. And I wanted to talk to you all about something more productive than just rambling about how hot it is and how over things I am. But that's all I got. That's really it. That's all I got. Oh man. It has been, I belong to this YouTube group now, and they keep talking about weeding out the inactive people. And I am incredibly inactive in their little group. For one, I'm very used to being my own person, and so having to reach out and communicate with people is not something that's part of my natural rhythm of things to do. What's more, it's very easy to get trapped in the idea of talking about doing things and then never actually doing things. And I worry that might also be a symptom of these things. I am not very attached to my phone. I'm stopped at a stoplight if you are concerned about me looking at my phone. I am not one who frequents the cell phone, but I do excuse me, I do like the idea of having a community. And so having a community is good, but if having that community means that I need to be more attached to my cell phone, then I don't think that's very good at all, actually. So there's just a whole thing about trying to balance being a part of this community and not letting the community take over my creative process. And I think it's my goodness, I think it's generally speaking a good thing. It's a nice thing to have a community of encouragement, a community of people who wants us to grow, but it's also good to be able to succeed on your own. You don't want to lean on people as a crutch, nor do you want to shut people out of your life either. And trying to find that happy medium is kind of where I usually lose track of these kinds of groups. I will typically shove people out of my life until I get lonely, and then I look for groups, and then I'll group up until I realize that the groups are being unproductive, and then I will shove people out of my life again until I get lonely. I have hit, I swear, every light on the way to the highway today. It is going on 7 minutes, and I still haven't even gotten on the highway yet. It's because it's 5:30, 5 o'clock traffic. Duh. But yeah, I had a good conversation this morning with you guys talking about how I'm starting to feel like a boomer who can't accept the opinions of those less advanced in age than I. And like, I'm not even that old, and I know people don't respect my opinions. They're not like, oh my gosh, this guy's been around the block a few times, maybe I should listen to what he has to say. But then we have these people on YouTube who are just blowing up, and they're like, oh yeah, I'm 20 and I know everything about stories. And I'm just like, really? Do you now? Let's see what you gotta say. And I would like to put my money where my mouth is and use this guy's service for the sole sake of saying that I used his service. And I don't know that is what I'm going to do. The problem is these services are expensive, and it's hard for me to warrant purchasing them if I don't think that they're worth the purchase. And therein lies the core issue that I've been having, is like, I don't mind working for these people, but he doesn't do any sort of shout outs on his channels to the people that he has worked with. And so I really don't get anything out of it except for his individual input on storytelling. And if I don't value his individual input on storytelling, then why pay for his individual input on storytelling? And it's interesting because Stephen King has gone on record about saying that with editors and with basically in general beta readers, getting other people's thoughts on your work. He's like, these are just individual minds. He's like, they mean nothing to the grand overview you have for your story. And to change things per their request needs to be per your understanding that it makes your story better. To change something just because random guy A said they didn't like it is not a reason to change something. And that is a luxury that someone like Stephen King can have because people trust his writing. They trust when he puts pen to paper that something good's going to come back out of it. And that can't be said for a vast majority of writers or editors or anybody in this world. And so for him to say that is like, well, yeah, that's all fine and dandy, Steve, but like, what do you have to say about what do you have to say about that for like people who don't have the power to control their careers? Like, I am not in a position where writing is even remotely sustainable for me, and now I have to try and adhere to the wants and the needs of the community and not to my work. And then you of course have established writers who are like, stay true to your work, don't do what doesn't make sense for your work. And I'm just like, okay, but that's easier said than done when you consider the fact that what I'm saying is good for my work doesn't align with what the world thinks is good for my work. And it all comes back down to getting second opinions from people, or getting opinions at all from people. Like, this is just an individual. Unless you, for some reason, really respect that person's thoughts on story, then you are not really gaining anything out of their service. And that's why, like, someone like that who gives story service and who offers their service as like, here's how you improve your story, like, it's hogwash unless it means something to you. Now, if you followed this person and their philosophies really resonate with you and you want to make a story that they would ooh and ah over, then okay, it makes sense to use that person. But if you're just trying to write your best story, then you can use anybody in the world. It doesn't have to be this YouTube guru. It doesn't have to be anybody at all. It just has to be, I believe work should be edited. There is a point in time that you reach when you're writing a novel where the words, you become numb to the words. So, in other words, you're writing a novel and there can be typos in the book, but your brain kind of knows what it's supposed to be, and so you don't notice the typos. I've had this happen to me on multiple occasions, and this is why getting a fresh eye on things is always very important. There's only so much that can be noticed when you're going over a 100,000 word block of text, and I've had on multiple occasions where I'll send my because I always edit over something. When I'm done with it, I go over it for myself before I send it out to editors. I've even now started going over it twice. I'll read over it, and then I will listen to an AI read it, and they will catch every weird phrasing that you could ever imagine. And then, after I've done the double take, I'll then send it to an editor to get their fresh opinion on it, and they're still finding things that can be improved. So I think it's very much so worth noting that these kinds of people, these sorts of things, are what we need to be doing. And to think that this individual holds this much story magic power is not a healthy thing to think. And I say all this not to poo-poo this idea, but it is to poo-poo the idea of paying an insane amount of money for a YouTube personality who's going to offer you nothing more than editing service. Unless they're going to go on their channel and be like, I edited this guy's novel, it was really good, then there's nothing you as a creator stands to gain from it, because marketing is its own beast entirely. I've been fighting the marketing ploy of books for going on 4 years now. It's like, okay, my book's out in the world, now what do I do with it? And that is absolutely the battle that I chase, the fight that I wage, whatever you want to call it. That is the issue at hand. Is, okay, my books are out in the world, now how do I get people reading them? And it certainly isn't easy. I've had marketing agencies turn me down simply because I'm an author. And they're like, we don't know how to market an author. That's weird. And I'm just like, seriously? Like, I am trying to do something that a marketing agency says they don't know how to do. And I've reached a point now on Instagram where my posts do not perform. Unless I am paying to have that thing seen by more than 30 people. 30 people are the only people who's going to see it. And it's like banging your head against the wall, uploading crap, trash videos over and 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 over, and hoping that finally something gains some level of attention. And it is a part-time job, really. Especially if you want to succeed at it, it's going to take a part-time job commitment worth of your time. And I don't know that it's that I don't have that. It's that I don't want something to commit so much to my time, because there's so many facets of it. Like, there is the creation of it that takes a long time, and then getting it out there takes a long time, and then sustaining takes a long time. It really does. They say take a village to walk a mile, or whatever the phrase is. It takes a village to do most anything. Like, I wish that I could say I did it all on my own, but I've got to reach out and ask for help. It's the same thing with Compression Man. I hire out the animation, and people say that all the time. They're like, oh, well, what are you doing if you're hiring out the animation? I was like, it's still my vision. These are my characters, my script, my voiceovers, my everything. I just hired someone to animate it for me because it takes too much time if I'm trying to do it myself. And it's just a frustrating outlook that if you're not doing the project entirely on your own, then it is not your project. And I'm really hoping that these advertisements that I have planned for, what do I have planned for? These advertisements that I have planned for, golly, my brain is dead, for Compression Man in October. Hopefully they do garner some attention for me. Hopefully I do get some people watching. Hopefully by then I have 4 episodes up. I'll have a steadier blog of episodes behind me. There's also, I've been promoting my videos on YouTube to try and get people in front of the content, and they have just tanked my impression rate entirely. And like, I released this trailer video, and it's gotten like 50 views. It's of course like a 30-second trailer, so it doesn't really matter that it got 50 views, even if they're all 30 seconds. It's like, ooh, can you do that naturally on just an episode of Compression Man? I don't know. It's unfortunate to not know the answer to that question, but I don't know the answer to that question. And it's incredibly difficult. I think I've started a philosophy or a war or both on the reliance of popular IPs in this day and age, and how very incredibly difficult it is to create an original IP and to take off in this world. Like, I look at Cartoon Network, anime, anything like that, and how many of them are just, well, anime is fresh because it is sustained by a holistic another audience. If I were able to write in Japanese, I could probably just make a manga and just be fine, but I don't know how to do that. So then I have to try and find my own kind of people to appeal to, and I just really don't know that it's very easily done. Everybody is fighting for your attention, and more so they're fighting for your money. They first and foremost, they want your attention, then they want your time, and then they'll ask for your money. And because time is money, time is really the most valuable thing any of us can offer. Businesses, when you have a job, businesses are more or less paying for your time. Like, yes, you're giving them work, but that's also your time that you're giving them. And like, if your time is not valuable to them, if you're not doing work, then they will let you go. So then, in that regards, everything becomes a business exchange where they're wanting money or time in exchange for whatever. So all these people, these IPs, are flooding the market, and they're like, pay attention to me, pay attention to me, throw your money at me, throw your money at me. And the little guys who are just like, hey, I don't have any money to get your attention with, but I sure would like for you to pay attention to me, get absolutely squashed, because there's the mass majority of people in this world are not people who are small time creators. And it's like, as a small time creator, you really should just focus your time promoting and enjoying other small creators, because you understand the struggle that they're going through and the things that they have to do in order to get views, in order to get people on their content. And as an enjoyer of content, if I can even call myself that anymore, as an enjoyer of content, I don't indulge in the massive AAA titles anymore. I can't tell you the last time I've gone to the movies and watched the most popular movie that was in the theaters. Can't tell you that last time I've gone to a concert for the most popular musician on the scene today. It's just not something that I do. And because of that, hey, I got some music today. Thank goodness for that. I needed something to break the monotony of life. Anywho, because of all of these things, I need to go to I need to pay my water bill. So, at any rate, because of all of these things, I just don't partake in the big conglomerate. There's enough people out there partaking in the big conglomerate that I can do my own thing and be just fine. And that is what I hope to do. And hopefully we can find our own little space in the world, because there's bound to be enough of us to be self-sustaining. And then we can just live in our own quiet little corner together. And I hope that you join us in that quiet corner. And if nothing else, I thank you for joining me.